This is Bob Ranquist, Golf Course Superintendent at Boca Rio Golf Club. After an extended period of dry weather, rain returned to South Florida this week, with rainfall amounts of 6 to 12 inches commonly occurring in some areas of Palm Beach and Broward counties. At Boca Rio, it began raining at midday on Monday and continued off and on until late Wednesday evening, accumulating a total of 11.3 inches of rain by Thursday morning. The last time we received this much rainfall in a short period of time was when Tropical Storm Irene dropped 12 inches of rain on Boca Rio during 2 days in mid-October of 1999. Work on the golf course renovation and the new irrigation system installation came to a halt as lakes and canals overflowed their banks and numerous large pools of water appeared on the golf course's fairways and roughs. Fortunately, we have an outflow pump behind number 16 tee that pumps 15 to 18,000 gallons of water per minute into a canal next to the southern perimeter of the club's property. A stormwater permit from South Florida Water Management District allows us to pump stormwater from our property into the canal. By Friday morning, the canals and lakes were back in their banks, and most of the pools of standing water on the golf course had disappeared. Despite the wet conditions, renovation work and irrigation system installation restarted on the golf course on Thursday morning. Minor erosion damage occurred to bunker capes and edges as minimal amounts of soil washed off slopes and into the Better Billy bunker liner gravel layer in the bunkers. Since the polymer binding material had not yet been sprayed onto the gravel layer, repair was a simple task as soil-contaminated gravel was removed and replaced with clean gravel. Rototilling of the newly added 1 to 3 inches of greens mix into the existing greens mix also began. This blending of new and existing greens mix will prevent any layers from developing between the two greens mix components. The greens mix was then packed down and re-smoothed. Finish grading and restoration of the previous green contours will begin next week. Laser mapping of the previous contours will allow us to restore the contours almost exactly as they were before the renovation began. We observed one very encouraging phenomena on the greens during the heavy rains. No water accumulated on the greens mix surfaces at any time. This confirms that our method of replacing the top portion of the greens mix that was contaminated with undesirable levels of organic material and restoring the proper 12 to 15 inch depth of the greens mix has restored the desired drainage properties for growing quality turf on our greens. Installation of the sprinklers, piping, and control wiring also began around greens number 11 and 13 on Thursday morning. Installation of these green loops around the first 7 greens to be planted should be complete early next week. The new pump station will then be connected to the main line next week, and water will be available at the first 7 holes to be planted by the end of next week. If weather conditions return to normal next week, we should be able to begin planting grass around and on the greens at holes number 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 sometime during the week of June 19th through the 24th.